The screams still echo in my memory. 3 solar cycles have passed since the Battle of Kepler Station, and I can still hear them. Human screams, alien screams, a universal language of pain that transcends species barriers. But what haunts me most is not the sound of dying warriors or the hiss of atmosphere bleeding into space. What keeps me awake during the sleep cycles is the memory of one human voice cutting through the chaos like a plasma blade through flesh, calling me beautiful. My Zara-Nine. Beautiful. The irony would be amusing if it were not so pathetically tragic. My reflection in the polished metal of my warhammer shows the truth that humans somehow missed. Chitinous plates cover my torso like organic armor, each one scarred by 1,000 battles. My 4 arms end in claws designed for rending flesh, not gentle caresses. My mandibles click together when I speak, a sound that makes most species flinch instinctively. My compound eyes see in spectrums that would drive human minds mad. Everything about me was crafted by evolution for one purpose: killing. Yet he called me beautiful. The memory surfaces unbidden as I prepare for today's engagement. The humans call it Operation Crimson Dawn. We call it the final hunt. Names matter little when the outcome remains the same: blood, death, victory for whoever proves most savage. Captain Voss enters my quarters without ceremony. His 3 eyes scan my weapons array with professional interest. The Corvani respect strength above all else, and I am the finest killer our species has produced in 6 generations. The human fleet arrived 2 hours ago, he reports, his voice carrying that familiar mixture of anticipation and dread. Intelligence suggests they are bringing their new weapon. I secure my secondary plasma rifles to my lower arms, while my primary hands check the charge on my warhammer. What kind of weapon? Unknown? Our spies report only that it is called Project Mercy. The name draws a harsh laugh from my throat. Humans and their contradictions. They name their most devastating weapons after virtues they claim to value. Perhaps that is why they are so dangerous, Voss observes. They lie to themselves as easily as they lie to us. But even as I nod agreement, a different memory intrudes. A human medic, plasma burns covering half his body, sharing his ration with a wounded Corvani prisoner. When questioned, he had simply shrugged and said, "Pain is pain, hunger is hunger. Species does not matter when someone suffers." I had executed him for weakness, of course. Mercy is a luxury warriors cannot afford. So why does the memory taste like poison in my thoughts? The ship shudders as we drop out of hyperspace. Through the viewport, I see our destination, Titan 7, a mining colony that produces the rare minerals both our species need for their war machines. The humans established the colony first, but we claimed it by right of conquest 3 months ago. Now they want it back. They are welcome to try. The human fleet spreads across space like a silver infection. 12 dreadnoughts, each one bristling with enough firepower to glass a small moon. Support vessels dance between them like metallic insects, their weapon signatures painting our sensors with targeting locks. It is an impressive display of military might. It is also inadequate. Our fleet consists of only 8 vessels, but each Corvani ship is twice the size of their largest dreadnought. Our hull-mounted cannons can punch through their shields like tissue paper. Our armor can withstand their most powerful weapons. We have never lost a fleet engagement against the humans. Until today, perhaps. All warriors to battle stations, Voss announces over the ship's communication system. Remember, we fight not just for victory, but for the honor of our ancestors. Show these soft-skinned mammals what true warriors look like. I make my way to the assault pod bays where my strike team waits. 40 of the deadliest Corvani warriors ever spawned, each one eager to paint their claws red with human blood. They look at me with something approaching reverence. I am their legend, their inspiration, the warrior who single-handedly captured the human admiral at the Battle of New Singapore, the killer who once held off 300 human marines for 6 hours while reinforcements arrived. Listen well, I address them, my voice carrying the authority of countless victories. Today we face humans on their chosen ground. They believe their new weapon will save them. They believe their tactical superiority will overcome our strength. They are wrong. Approving growls echo through the bay. But do not underestimate them, I continue. Humans are unpredictable. They fight without honor when cornered. They sacrifice themselves for objectives that seem meaningless. They care more about protecting the weak than claiming glory. These traits make them dangerous in ways our tactical manuals cannot quantify. The first missiles impact our shields as the battle begins above us. Through the reinforced viewports, I watch streams of plasma light the darkness like deadly fireworks. The dance of death has started, and soon we will join it. Pod launch in 30 seconds, the pilot announces. Primary target is the colony's command center. Secondary objectives include the communication array and the mining equipment. Tertiary objective is maximum human casualties. I check my weapons one final time. Warhammer fully charged. Plasma rifles ready. Combat stims flooding my system. Every nerve ending alive with anticipation. This is what I was born for. What I was trained for. What I excel at beyond all others. The assault pod tears away from our ship like a metal comet, diving toward the planet's surface. Around us, dozens of other pods follow similar trajectories. The humans will track our approach. Of course, they will prepare defenses. They will position their troops to maximize our casualties. It will not matter. The pod's guidance system adjusts our trajectory to avoid the worst of the anti-aircraft fire, but several nearby pods bloom into brief flowers of flame as human missiles find their marks. The pilots were good warriors. They will be remembered. We slam into the planet's surface with bone-jarring force. The pod's armor absorbing the impact that would pulverize lesser species. The hatch blows away in a shower of sparks, and I emerge into hell. The human colony burns around us. Their defensive positions spit streams of projectiles and energy beams, turning the air itself into a weapon. Corvani warriors advance across the killing field, their return fire carving bloody swaths through human formations. Bodies from both sides litter the ground like grotesque decorations. I lead my strike team toward the command center, using my 4 arms to lay down withering suppressive fire while advancing with inhuman speed. Humans dive for cover as my Warhammer's energy bolts turn their fortifications into slag. Those too slow to retreat become crimson stains on the colony's metal walls. The battle should be straightforward. We are stronger, faster, more heavily armed. Our natural weapons supplement our manufactured ones. We feel no fear, no hesitation, no mercy. Victory should be inevitable, but then the humans activate their new weapon. The sound starts as a low harmonic, barely audible above the chaos of battle. It builds slowly, resonating through the ground and into our bones. My warriors falter, their weapons dropping as they clutch their heads in pain. Several fall to their knees, mandibles clicking in distress. I feel it too, a pressure inside my skull like something trying to crack my mind open from within. My compound eyes blur, showing me overlapping images that make no sense. The world tilts sideways and I struggle to remain standing. Through the confusion I see him. A human male, maybe 30 years in their standard time measurements. Brown hair matted with sweat and dust. Green eyes that should not be visible at this distance, yet somehow burn themselves into my memory. He wears the simple uniform of a colonial marine, not the advanced armor of their elite units. Nothing about him suggests exceptional ability or training, yet he approaches me across the battlefield like he owns it. Plasma bolts sizzle past him, missing by what should be impossible margins. A Corvani warrior charges him with claws extended, only to stumble and fall as the sonic weapon's effects intensify. The human sidesteps around the fallen alien with casual grace, never breaking his stride. He is heading straight for me. My primary hands grip my warhammer while my secondary arms bring up plasma rifles. I am Zara-Nine, killer of thousands, terror of 3-star systems. I have never retreated from a fight. I have never shown mercy to an enemy. I have never failed to complete a mission. But as this unremarkable human approaches, something fundamental shifts inside my consciousness. He stops 5 meters away, well within killing range for both of us. His weapon remains lowered. His expression shows no fear, no hatred, no bloodlust. Instead, he studies me with an intensity that makes my chitin crawl. The sonic weapon continues its assault on my nervous system, but somehow I manage to speak. Have you come to surrender, human? He tilts his head, considering the question with infuriating calm. No, I came to talk. We are in the middle of a battle. I noticed. The casual nature of his response sparks fury in my chest. My warriors are dying because of your weapon. Your warriors are dying because they chose to attack innocent people. There are no innocents in war. There are, if you choose to see them. Before I can formulate a response to this philosophical nonsense, he does something that freezes my blood. He smiles. Not the predatory grin of a victor or the desperate rictus of someone facing death. A genuine warm expression that transforms his entire face. You are beautiful, he says simply. The words hit me like a physical blow. My weapon arms waver. My compound eyes struggle to focus. In the background, the battle continues its deadly choreography. But suddenly it feels distant and unimportant. You mock me. No. His voice carries absolute conviction. You are the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. I gesture to my scarred chiton, my killing claws, my mandibles designed for rending flesh. This is beautiful to you? Yes. You are either lying or insane. Neither. I see strength that could protect instead of destroy. I see intelligence that could build instead of tear down. I see someone who has chosen to be a weapon when they could choose to be something more. The sonic weapon reaches crescendo, and my legs finally give out. I fall to one knee, warhammer dropping from nerveless fingers. Around us, the battle pauses as warriors from both sides succumb to the weapon's effects. The human takes a step closer. My name is Marcus Reid. I designed the sonic disruptor we're using. I also designed the antidote. Through the haze of pain, I managed to focus on his face. Antidote? He pulls a small device from his utility belt. Neural stabilizer. It counters the weapon's effects. I could give it to you. Why would you help me? Because I believe you are more than just a killer. Because I think you want to be more than just a killer. Because I have spent 3 years studying Corvani psychology, and I know that beneath all that armor and conditioning, you are capable of choice. My vision grays at the edges. Soon I will lose consciousness, leaving my warriors helpless, and the mission in ruins. Everything I have trained for, everything I have built my identity around, hangs in the balance. And this human offers salvation with no apparent price. What do you want in return? I force the words through grinding mandibles. A conversation. Just you and me. No weapons, no armies, no orders from superiors. Just two people talking about what comes next. I am not people. I am a weapon. No. He steps closer. Close enough that I could strike him down even in my weakened state. You are Zara-Nine, individual consciousness, capable of independent thought and moral choice. You are people whether you admit it or not. The world tilts further sideways. In moments I will collapse completely, and my warriors will follow. The mission will fail. My reputation will be ruined. My superiors will demand explanations. I cannot provide. But as consciousness fades, I find myself focused not on tactical considerations or strategic implications. Instead, I think about green eyes that see beauty where none should exist. About a human who walks through a battlefield like he belongs there, yet speaks of choices and possibilities. About someone who believes I could be more than what I was made to be. The neural stabilizer falls from his outstretched hand, landing just within reach of my claws. I have maybe 3 seconds before unconsciousness takes me. 3 seconds to choose between the warrior I have always been and the possibility of something else. 3 seconds to decide if Marcus Reid is offering salvation or damnation. 3 seconds to determine whether his words about beauty and choice are the ramblings of a madman or the first truth I have ever heard. My claw reaches for the device as darkness claims me, and the last thing I see is his face, still wearing that impossible smile that suggests he already knows what I will choose. The Battle of Titan 7 ends not with glorious victory or crushing defeat, but with unconsciousness and questions that will haunt me for cycles to come. When I wake, everything will be different. When I wake, I will have to decide what kind of creature I truly am. When I wake, I will have to face the terrifying possibility that Marcus Reid is right, And I am beautiful. Consciousness returns like a plasma burn spreading through my nervous system. Every nerve ending screams protest as awareness floods back into my body. The first thing I notice is the absence of pain. The sonic weapon's assault on my mind has stopped, replaced by a strange clarity that feels almost alien to my own thoughts. The second thing I notice is that I am not dead. This observation brings both relief and profound confusion. Corvani warriors who fall unconscious on the battlefield do not typically wake up to contemplate their mortality. They wake up in the afterlife, if our beliefs hold any truth. Yet here I am, compound eyes functioning perfectly, all four limbs responding to mental commands, combat reflexes already cataloging potential threats. The third thing I notice is Marcus Reid sitting 2 meters away, weapon holstered, hands visible and empty, that impossible smile still playing across his features. "Welcome back," he says, as if we are old friends meeting for recreational conversation instead of enemy combatants in the middle of a war zone. I surge to my feet with fluid grace, claws extended, ready to tear his throat out. Then I stop. Not because he poses a threat, or because tactical considerations demand restraint. I stop because the battlefield around us has transformed into something that defies military logic. Human and Corvani soldiers sit in mixed groups, sharing rations and medical supplies. A human medic tends to a wounded Corvani warrior while his squad mate provides covering fire against nothing. No one is shooting. No one is advancing. No one is dying. The war has simply stopped. "What have you done?" I demand. My voice carrying all the outrage of a professional killer denied her purpose. "I activated the secondary function of the sonic disruptor," Marcus replies with maddening calm. "Phase 1 causes neural disruption. Phase 2 induces temporary empathy enhancement. Empathy enhancement." I repeat the words like they taste poisonous. "You drugged an entire battlefield. I gave everyone the ability to see beyond their conditioning, to recognize that the beings they were trying to kill have thoughts, feelings, families, dreams, to understand that warfare is a choice, not an inevitability." I gesture toward a group where a human soldier is teaching a young Corvani how to field strip a rifle while they both laugh at some shared joke. This is not warfare. This is madness. This is what happens when people remember they are people. We are not people. The words explode from my throat with such vehemence that several nearby warriors look up in surprise. We are weapons, tools of state policy, instruments of strategic objectives. We exist to kill and die for causes greater than ourselves. Marcus stands slowly, never taking his eyes off my face. "Do you really believe that?" "It is what I was taught, what I was trained for, what I have excelled at for 15 years. That is not what I asked." The question hangs between us like an unexploded ordnance. Around us, the impossible ceasefire continues. Human and Corvani voices blend together in conversations that should not exist. Laughter echoes across a landscape that moments ago was soaked in blood. I should be disgusted, horrified, enraged at this perversion of military discipline. Instead, I find myself curious. How long will the effect last? I ask, hating myself for wanting to know. 6 hours. Long enough for people to remember who they were before someone told them to hate each other. Long enough to plant seeds of doubt about the necessity of endless war. And then they will face a choice. Return to killing because that is what they have always done, or find a different path forward. I laugh. The sound harsh and bitter. You think 6 hours of artificial empathy will end a war that has raged for 3 decades? No, but it might end it for some individuals. And sometimes that is enough. Before I can formulate a response worthy of such naive optimism, Captain Voss approaches our position. His movements are different. Looser. Less aggressive. The empathy enhancement has affected him too, but military discipline runs deep in Corvani psychology. "Zara-Nine," he says, his voice carrying undertones I have never heard before. "I have received new orders. From High Command. From Admiral Crix himself." Voss holds up a communication device that crackles with encrypted data. The human weapon has been classified as a strategic threat. We are ordered to eliminate it and its creator immediately. Marcus does not flinch at this death sentence. If anything, His smile becomes sadder. I expected as much. Military leaders on both sides will see the empathy enhancement as a threat to their authority. Because it is, I reply automatically. Then I pause, considering my words more carefully. A weapon that makes soldiers question orders could destabilize entire command structures. A weapon that helps people remember their humanity might prevent unnecessary deaths. Same thing, Voss observes with surprising gentleness. From certain perspectives, the communication device crackles again, and Admiral Krix's voice emerges with crystal clarity. Zara-Nine, you will execute the human scientist immediately. His weapon represents an unacceptable threat to Corvani military effectiveness. Failure to comply will result in your court-martial and execution. I stare at the device, then at Marcus, then at the scene of impossible peace surrounding us. Everything I have built my identity around demands immediate compliance. I am Zara-Nine, weapon of the state, killer without equal. My orders are clear, my target is identified. My reputation depends on swift execution. Yet something holds me back. You knew this would happen, I say to Marcus. You knew giving me that neural stabilizer would put your life in my hands. Yes, you could have escaped during the confusion. Found safety with your own forces. Yes. Instead, you stayed, waited for me to wake up. Put yourself at my mercy. Yes. Why? For the first time since I met him. Marcus hesitates. His green eyes search my face as if looking for something specific. When he speaks, his voice carries a weight that makes my chaton tingle. Because I meant what I said. You are beautiful. Not just physically, though your form has an elegance that humans rarely appreciate. You are beautiful in your capacity for choice, in your potential for growth, in your ability to be more than what others made you. I am a killer. You are a person who has killed. There is a difference. Explain it. A killer defines themselves by the act of killing. They find purpose and identity in death. A person who has killed recognizes that they have taken lives, but does not let that single fact define their entire existence. They can choose to stop. They can choose differently. The communication device squawks again. Zara-Nine, report your status immediately. I look at the device, then at Marcus, then at my claws. One swipe would open his throat. A single strike would end his life and prove my loyalty to the Corvani state. My reputation would remain intact. My superiors would be satisfied. The natural order of warfare would continue unchanged. But those green eyes continue to watch me with an expression I have never seen before. Not fear, though he should be terrified. Not resignation, though death seems inevitable. Something else. Something that makes my chest tight and my thoughts scattered. Hope. He looks at me with hope. I am not beautiful, I say finally. I am scarred, dangerous, alien. My hands have killed thousands. My presence brings death wherever I go. Beauty is not about perfection, Marcus replies softly. It is about potential, about the possibility of becoming something greater than what you were, about choosing love over hate, creation over destruction, understanding over ignorance. And you think I can choose these things? I think you already have. Before I can ask what he means, the answer becomes obvious. I am still standing here talking to him instead of following my orders. Every second of delay is itself a choice. Every word we exchange is a small rebellion against everything I was taught to believe. I am already choosing differently. The realization hits me like a kinetic round to the chest. For 15 years I have been a perfect weapon, efficient, deadly, unquestioning. I followed orders without hesitation, killed without remorse, advanced the Corvani cause without doubt. And now I stand here, disobeying direct orders from the highest military authority, protecting the very human I was sent to eliminate. What does that make me? Your communications are being monitored, I tell Marcus suddenly. My superiors will track this conversation. They will send reinforcements to ensure mission completion. I know. They will not hesitate to kill both of us if necessary. I know. Then why are you not afraid? Marcus steps closer, close enough that I could strike him down without effort. His hand moves slowly toward his belt and every combat instinct screams for me to react. Instead, I watch as he withdraws not a weapon but a small recording device. Because I have something to show you first. The device projects a holographic display that makes my blood freeze. Security footage from the Battle of New Singapore, where I earned my greatest victory. But this is not the sanitized combat report I remember. This is raw surveillance data, showing the engagement from multiple angles. I watch myself tear through human defensive positions with mechanical precision. Bodies fall before my advance like wheat before a harvester. Nothing I see contradicts my memory of events, until the recording reaches the moment when I cornered Admiral Harrison in his command bunker. In my memory, the human admiral died quickly, efficiently, with minimal suffering. A clean kill that earned me promotion and recognition. But the surveillance footage shows something different. It shows me hesitating. For exactly 3 seconds I stand over the wounded human, weapons ready, and I do nothing. In those 3 seconds, the admiral looks up at me with eyes full of pain and fear, and I see something there that makes my claws waver. Then training reasserts itself, and I complete the execution. But those 3 seconds prove that even then, even at the height of my conditioning, some part of me questioned what I was doing. You remember, Marcus says quietly, even then you felt doubt. Doubt is weakness. Doubt is conscience. It is the voice inside that whispers there might be a better way. The recording continues, showing the aftermath of the battle. Human prisoners being loaded onto transports. Wounded soldiers receiving medical attention. Families being separated. Children crying for parents who would never come home. And in every frame I can see myself watching. Not with satisfaction or pride, but with something that looks suspiciously like regret. You have been fighting your own nature for years, Marcus continues. Suppressing empathy that should have made you question your orders. Denying connections that could have brought meaning to your existence. Pretending to be a weapon when you are actually a person capable of love. Love. I spit the word like a curse. Corvadi do not love. We mate for genetic diversity and raise offspring for military effectiveness. Emotional attachment is a liability in combat. Yet you remember the names of every warrior who has died under your command. The accusation hits me like a physical blow. It is true, though I have never admitted it to anyone. Every fallen soldier, every tactical sacrifice, every casualty report, their names echo in my memory during the quiet hours between battles. Tactical necessity. Understanding personnel losses improves future strategic planning. You built a shrine to them. My compound eyes focus on his face with new intensity. How could you possibly know that? Because I have been studying you for 3 years, Zara-Nine. Not just your combat effectiveness or tactical preferences. You, the person behind the weapon. I know about the small monument you built in your quarters. I know about the flowers you leave there after every battle. I know about the tears you shed when you think no one is watching. The word shatters something fundamental inside my chest. The careful walls I have built around my emotions crumble like paper fortifications. For a moment, the professional killer disappears, leaving only a person who has carried too much death for too long. They were good warriors, I whisper. They deserved to be remembered. They were people, and so are you. The communication device crackles with increasing urgency. Multiple voices now, all demanding immediate response. In the background, I can hear the sound of approaching aircraft. My superiors are sending reinforcements. Just as I predicted. Time is running out. Marcus, I say, surprised by how easily his name falls from my mandibles. If what you say is true, if I am capable of choice, then what would you have me choose? I would have you choose yourself, not what you were made to be or trained to be, or ordered to be. What you want to be. And if I do not know what that is, then we will find out together. The aircraft engines grow louder. Soon, elite Corvani commandos will arrive with orders to eliminate both of us. My window of opportunity shrinks with each passing second. I could still complete my mission. Kill Marcus, destroy his weapon, return to my ship as a loyal soldier. My reputation would remain intact. My superiors would be satisfied. The war would continue as it always has. Or I could choose the unknown path he offers. Risk everything I have built for the possibility of becoming something more than a weapon. The choice should be obvious. Duty, honor, loyalty to my species. These are the values that have guided my entire existence. But as I look into those green eyes that see beauty where others see only death, I realize that duty without choice is just slavery. Honor without conscience is just brutality. Loyalty without love is just fear. And I am tired of being afraid. The aircraft will be here in 60 seconds, I tell him. My people will kill us both if they find us together. I know. Do you have an escape plan? Not exactly. Then you are either very brave or very stupid. Probably both. Despite everything, I find myself laughing. The sound surprises me with its genuine warmth. When was the last time I laughed without mockery or cruelty? When was the last time I felt joy? Marcus Reid, I say formally. I am choosing to be more than what I was made to be. His smile could power a starship. What does that mean specifically? I extend one of my primary hands toward him. It means we run together. And see what happens next. He takes my hand without hesitation, his fingers small and soft against my chitinous palm. The contact sends electricity through my nervous system that has nothing to do with combat stims. Where will we go? Away from here, away from orders and expectations and the endless cycle of killing. Somewhere we can find out who we really are when no one is telling us who to be. The aircraft circle overhead, searchlights probing the battlefield. In moments they will land and disgorge troops trained specifically to hunt traitors like us. Are you ready? I ask. I have been ready for 3 years. We run. Behind us, the impossible ceasefire begins to crumble as the empathy enhancement wears off. Soldiers remember their training, their hatred, their orders. The war resumes its ancient dance of death and destruction. But ahead of us lies something neither Corvani nor human military doctrine has prepared us for. The possibility of peace. Not just between our species, but within ourselves. The possibility of love. The possibility that beauty exists even in the darkest places, waiting to be recognized by those brave enough to see it. As we disappear into the colony's maze of industrial corridors, I catch our reflection in a polished metal surface. A human and a Corvani, running hand in hand toward an uncertain future. For the first time in my life, I think I understand what Marcus meant. We are beautiful. 3 weeks of running changes a person. Or perhaps it reveals who they always were beneath the layers of conditioning and expectation. I am no longer certain there is a difference. Marcus and I have become ghosts, haunting the edge of civilized space. We steal supplies from mining stations, hack into communication networks for intelligence, and stay always one step ahead of the hunting packs that follow our trail. Both Corvani and human forces want us dead now. We have become a shared enemy, the living proof that their carefully constructed hatred might be built on lies. There is a certain irony in that. For the first time in 30 years, our species have found something they can agree on. Unfortunately, that something is killing us. Patrol ships incoming, Marcus reports from his position at the sensor array. We have taken shelter in an abandoned research station orbiting a dead star, hoping the gravitational interference will mask our signatures. 3 Corvani hunters and 2 human destroyers. They are coordinating their search patterns. I study the tactical display with professional interest. The pursuit formations are textbook perfect, designed to eliminate escape routes while maintaining overlapping fields of fire. Whoever is commanding this operation understands both human and Corvani military doctrine. Admiral Crix and Fleet Commander Sarah Chen, I muse. They must be sharing intelligence. Historic cooperation, Marcus agrees with his usual dark humor. All it took was 2 people falling in love. Love. The word still feels strange in my mouth, like a foreign language I am slowly learning to speak. But I cannot deny its accuracy. What else would explain the way my chest tightens when he smiles? The way his presence makes even this sterile research station feel like home. The way I would tear apart entire fleets before allowing harm to come to him. If this is not love, then the concept has no meaning. They will find us eventually, I observe, checking the charge on my weapons. Old habits die hard, even when the old life is dead and buried. Our resources are limited. Their determination is not. Probably. But I have been working on something that might level the playing field. Marcus leads me to the station's main laboratory. where he has spent the last 72 hours tinkering with salvaged equipment. The result looks like the demented offspring of a communications array and a sonic disruptor, bristling with modifications that hurt my eyes to contemplate. What is it? An empathy broadcaster. Like the weapon I used on Titan 7, but permanent. Instead of temporary neural enhancement, this creates lasting changes in brain chemistry. Anyone exposed would find it impossible to feel hatred or aggression toward other sentient beings. I stare at the device with growing horror. You want to lobotomize half the galaxy? I want to give people the chance to see past their conditioning, to recognize that the beings they are fighting have families, dreams, hopes, fears, just like they do. And if they choose to fight anyway, then they make that choice with full knowledge of what they are destroying. Not because someone told them to hate, but because they genuinely believe violence is necessary. The pursuing fleets grow closer on our sensors. Soon they will triangulate our position and bring overwhelming firepower to bear. We have perhaps 30 minutes before the first salvos begin turning this station into radioactive debris. But I find myself thinking not about tactical considerations, but about Marcus's latest creation. About the implications of a galaxy where hatred becomes impossible. About the changes such a device would bring to both our species. It would end the war, I say finally. It would end all wars. It would also end individual choice. Free will. The right to feel what we choose to feel. Would that be such a terrible price for peace? The question hangs between us like a loaded weapon. I study his face, searching for clues to his true thoughts. The man who designed weapons capable of reshaping the fundamental nature of consciousness. The man who sees beauty in a creature designed for killing. The man who somehow convinced me to abandon everything I believed in for the possibility of becoming something more. What does he truly want? You are testing me. I realize this is not about ending the war. This is about whether I have truly changed or merely transferred my loyalty from one cause to another. His smile confirms my suspicion. What do you think? I consider the device, the pursuing fleets, the impossible choice he has presented. Then I draw my sidearm and put 3 plasma bolts through the empathy broadcaster's central processing unit. The machine dies in a shower of sparks and melting components. I think choice matters more than outcome, I tell him. I think free will is more important than peace. I think people must be allowed to find their own path to understanding, even if that path leads through darkness. Even if it means the war continues? Even if it means we both die in the next 30 minutes? Marcus nods slowly, his expression mixing approval with something that might be relief. Good. For a moment I was worried you had simply replaced one form of blindness with another. You could have saved the galaxy, and I destroyed that possibility. How is that good? Because saving people against their will is not really saving them. It is just another form of conquest, another way of imposing your vision on others who might choose differently. The first energy signatures appear at the edge of sensor range. Targeting systems come online. Weapon batteries rotate toward our position. The killing is about to begin again, and this time there will be no empathy enhancement to stay the executioner's hand. But instead of fear, I feel something approaching peace. For the first time in my life, I know exactly who I am and what I believe. Not what I was trained to believe, or ordered to believe, or conditioned to believe. What I choose to believe. Marcus, I say as proximity alarms begin their electronic shrieking. If we survive the next few hours, what then? I do not know. We keep running, I suppose. Keep trying to find a place where we can exist without being weapons or symbols or targets. And if we do not survive, then at least we die as ourselves, not as what others made us. The first missile salvo tears through the station's outer hull like paper. Emergency systems scream warnings as atmosphere bleeds into space. Through the reinforced viewports, I can see the hunting fleet taking up attack positions. Human and Corvani vessels working in perfect coordination to ensure our destruction. They have found us at last. But as we race toward the station's emergency escape pods, I realize something that makes my chest tight with an emotion I cannot name. I am not afraid. Not of death. Not of failure. not of the unknown future that may or may not await us. I am grateful. Grateful for the chance to choose. Grateful for the discovery that I am more than what I was made to be. Grateful for green eyes that see beauty in darkness, and a voice that speaks of possibilities instead of limitations. Grateful for love, even if it lasts only minutes longer. The escape pod tears away from the disintegrating station like a metal seed cast into the void. Behind us, secondary explosions light the darkness as fuel cells and ammunition stores detonate in sequence. The research station dies spectacularly, taking with it our shelter and our hope of remaining hidden, but also taking with it the empathy broadcaster that could have reshaped the galaxy. I am proud of that choice. Proud of choosing freedom over forced peace, truth over comfortable lies, uncertainty over predetermined outcomes. Incoming transmission, Marcus reports from the pod's communication system. Multiple sources. The main screen lights up with two faces. I recognize Admiral Crix of the Corvani fleet. His three eyes burning with military fury. Fleet Commander Chen of the human forces. Her expression cold and professional. They speak simultaneously, their voices blending into a harmony of condemnation. Zara-Nine, you are guilty of treason against the Corvani state. Marcus Reid, you are charged with desertion and crimes against humanity. Surrender immediately and your deaths will be swift. Resist, and we will make your suffering legendary. I reach for the communication controls, then pause. What is there to say to minds locked in the certainty of their own righteousness? What words could bridge the gap between their world of absolutes and our reality of chosen consequences? But Marcus places his hand over mine, his fingers warm against my chitin. Let me, he says softly. He opens the channel with the gentle smile that first made me question everything I believed. Admiral Crix, Fleet Commander Chen, thank you for the generous offer, but we must respectfully decline. This is not a negotiation, Crix snarls. You will surrender or be destroyed. That may be true, Marcus acknowledges. But before you begin shooting, I want you to understand something. 3 weeks ago, I created a weapon designed to force empathy on unwilling minds. 3 weeks ago, Zara-Nine abandoned her military duty to protect that weapon's creator. Today we destroyed that weapon rather than use it to end your war. Lies, Chen spits. You seek to confuse us with propaganda. No, we seek to show you that choice matters. That the ability to choose hatred is as important as the ability to choose love. That freedom means nothing if it does not include the freedom to be wrong. I watch their faces on the screen, searching for any sign that his words are penetrating their certainty, but I see only the blank stare of minds that have never questioned their own convictions. You destroyed your own weapon? Crix asks, suspicion evident in his tone. We chose free will over forced peace, I reply. We chose uncertainty over imposed solutions. We chose to trust that people can find their own path to understanding, given time and opportunity. Naive fools, Chen mutters. The galaxy burns because of idealists like you. The galaxy burns because people like you would rather be right than be happy. Marcus counters. Because you have forgotten that your enemies are people, not monsters. Because you have confused strength with the ability to cause suffering. The communication channel falls silent for several seconds. Around us, the hunting fleet maintains attack formation, weapons charged and ready. But they have not fired yet. Perhaps his words have accomplished something after all. Then Admiral Crix speaks, his voice carrying the finality of absolute judgment. You are beautiful dreamers. But dreams do not win wars. Weapons do. The first barrage lights space like an angry star. Energy beams and kinetic projectiles converge on our tiny escape pod from multiple vectors. Our shields flare and fail within seconds. Hull plating begins to sublimate under the concentrated fire. We have perhaps 10 seconds before the pod disintegrates completely. But instead of despair, I feel something approaching triumph. Because in those final moments I understand what Marcus meant when he called me beautiful. Beauty is not about appearance or perfection. Beauty is about the capacity to choose love over hate, hope over despair, growth over stagnation. Beauty is about becoming more than what you were made to be. Marcus, I say as system failures cascade through the pod's control systems. I need you to know something. What? You were right. I am beautiful. Not because of how I look, but because of who I chose to become. His hand finds mine as the final salvo approaches. We both are. The universe explodes around us in a symphony of light and fury. But before the darkness claims me, I have one last thought. A realization that makes everything worthwhile. For 3 weeks I was not a weapon. For 3 weeks I was not a tool of military policy. For 3 weeks I was simply myself, choosing my own path, defining my own purpose, loving and being loved in return. For 3 weeks I was beautiful. And if this is where that beauty leads, then I accept the price gladly. Consciousness fades like a dying star, taking with it pain and fear and regret, taking with it everything except the memory of green eyes that saw past surface appearance to the person beneath. Everything except love. Everything except the knowledge that choice, however brief, is the most beautiful thing in any universe. The escape pod dies in silent fire, carrying with it 2 people who dared to love across the species divide. 2 people who chose freedom over safety, uncertainty over predetermined roles, individual truth over collective lies. The hunting fleets record the kill and return to their respective bases. The war continues, hatred endures. Nothing changes in the larger scope of galactic politics. But in a small maintenance shaft deep within the research station's wreckage, 2 emergency stasis pods float among the debris, their occupants unconscious but alive. The explosion that should have killed them instead activated an automated rescue system that Marcus had installed weeks ago, during his modifications to the station's systems. A final gift from the man who believed in beauty even in the darkest places. A final choice that proves love can triumph over death itself. When they wake weeks later, recovered by salvage crews who find the pods by accident, the galaxy will seem unchanged. The war will continue. Leaders will speak of duty and honor, and the necessity of sacrifice. But 2 people will know better. 2 people will remember that beauty exists in the space between what we are and what we choose to become. 2 people will carry the truth that love, however brief, however impossible, however dangerous, is the only force in the universe capable of transforming weapons into people. The only force capable of making monsters beautiful. And perhaps, if they are very lucky and very careful, they will find others who understand this truth. Others who are tired of being told who to hate and why. Others who dream of a galaxy where choice matters more than conquest. Others who believe that beauty is not about perfection, but about the courage to become something more than what you were made to be. The story ends where it began, with questions about the nature of beauty and the power of choice. But now those questions have answers. Beauty is love choosing to see past surface appearance to the potential beneath. Beauty is courage, choosing uncertainty over predetermined roles. Beauty is hope choosing to believe that even weapons can become people if given the chance. And sometimes, if we are very lucky, beauty chooses us in return.